Hello YouTube, Byron at Splitting Slices. Welcome back to the Knife and EDC channel. Today is Monday, January 12th, 2026. That's 1/12/26. And because of today's date, 1/12, I thought it would be the right time to do a mini collection video on my buck knives. Now, I don't have a lot of bucks, but I do have some special ones to me. I had a buck 110 for years and years when I was younger. Of course, that knife got used, I think eventually lost, either on a job site or out in the woods. Never replaced it until about 4 years ago. And I thought I would go ahead and show you what I've got. So here we go on a Monday morning with enjoying a little tea in the case cup. We're going to show buck knives. Let's get started. The first 112 comes in a beautiful dark brown leather sheath, soft to the touch but stiffer leather construction, riveted and stitched with a belt loop and the 112 stamping on the back. Let's go ahead and get this open and look at it. This one is a special one to me and really kind of started my revisited buck collection. This is the 112 folding Ranger knife, and this is a special 50th year commemorative version that was released in 2022. Now, as the story goes, the Buck Ranger was designed and released as a remarket of a smaller 110 Hunter because of an unfortunate military incident that happened on a naval vessel in the San Diego Bay. Unfortunately, because of that incident, the Buck 110 was no longer allowed to be sold to military personnel or at least carried by crew on board. The knife blade was too long. Knife lengths were established, and Buck was losing sales drastically to one of their biggest customer bases. And so they developed the smaller 112 Ranger as a response to those market conditions and could continue then selling to military personnel. Let's take a look at it. The knife has about a 3.5-inch long handle. It has a 3-inch long clip point blade with a just shy of a 3-inch cutting length on that edge. Nail nick. This one is made from brass bolsters, brass liners, brass pins with one steel pin in the center for the spring, and I think because it's also a commemorative edition, it has a beautiful shield on this knife that says 1972, 50 years, with a picture of the knife. And if we look at the stamp on this, it says Buck USA and has the special commemorative anvil stamp with 50 in the middle. I also went ahead and had it etched BT Kennedy 2022 when I purchased this knife. And this has been a carry knife for me. Now, this really is a collector's edition. Probably shouldn't carry it, but you know, I'm more of a knife enthusiast than a knife collector. And so I enjoy carrying this knife in the pocket. Standard 420, a Boss heat-treated steel on this. Beautiful construction. And just an overall nice-sized, medium-sized folder. It locks, of course. This is the 50th commemorative anniversary of the Buck 112 Ranger release from 1972 and released in 2022. All right, let's go ahead and put that back. Of course, I'll get all these wiped down at the end of the video. Let's get into the second one I've got here. It comes in a beautiful black leather stained sheath. Of course, same stitched, riveted construction, antique brass snap, 112 embossed or stamped in the leather on the back, belt loop. Let's pull this one out. This is an also special knife for me in that it is only one of 100 and was released at the 2024 Bourbon Blades Festival, sponsored by Buck Knives, Red Hill Cutlery, in the city of Radcliffe, Kentucky. Now, that's a small town just outside of the Fort Knox Gold Reserve military base in Kentucky, about 30 miles south of Louisville, off the northern border. So, That is where the store is located. Each year, for a few years now, they have their Bourbon Blades Festival, where the city of Radcliffe puts on a concert, usually country acts, and a neighbor, which is Boundary Oak Distillery, also conducts tours of this distillery and offers sample taste testing of their bourbon products. So it makes for a nice day. You get to meet some of the folks at Red Hill and the management of Buck Knives, because as a regular addition for this festival, if you agree to purchase a knife, you can stand in a short line and get it signed and etched by the CEO and president of Buck Knives, C.J. Buck. And so you see his signature there, 2024. If we look at the tang stamp, you'll see that it says Buck USA with the date year, or 112, pardon me, with the date year, USA. All right, this one is, I believe, just the 420 steel, Boss heat treated. So brass bolsters, brass liners, brass pins with the one steel pin in the center at the spring location. Of course, lockback. This is the Bourbon Blades 1 of 100 2024 Festival Knife from Red Hill Cutlery. And I want to thank C.J. Buck and the entire Buck staff who's willing to come to those festivals, sign knives for customers. It's a great way to build a customer base and market share. And finally, I got a bonus knife for you. This really should have probably been shown in a short yesterday, 111. It comes in a beautiful charcoal leather, soft and softer leather sheath. Now, beautiful snap on it. Unfortunately, it was stamped 110 and not 111, which would have made this a more classy, elegant collector's piece. Just a note for Buck in the future. But if you open this knife up, it is gorgeous. Nickel silver bolsters, nickel silver pins on the 110 platform, but this is the 20th commemorative year anniversary release of the Buck 111 knife, which again, I should have probably shown yesterday for the date, but here it is as a bonus. Now, the only difference between the 110 Hunter design and the 111 are what Baxter called swooped, I'm going to call radiused, bolster, and cover design. If you look, you can see that these bolsters are circular or radiused instead of diagonally straight, as the normal 110 and 112 designs are. But this was released in 2025, celebrating 20 years of this design's initial release in 2005. Beautiful lockback. Of course, this has got the 3 3/4 inch long blade. Of course, this says Buck 111 with the 2025 year code, USA. But if we look on the other side, you will see that this also says Boss Heat Treated Magna Cut. So just a beautiful collector's piece. Fingerprint magnet for sure, but I sure enjoy having this knife. I've cut a couple times with it, sharp steel, and I'm looking forward to getting more Magna Cut options in the future. But there you go as the bonus. This is the Buck 111 20th anniversary release model in Magna Cut steel, ebony scales, and nickel silver everything. And that's going to wrap it up for me today. I hope you enjoyed this mini collection series. This is Byron from Splitting Slices saying split a slice with a friend soon. And until my next video, everybody please take care.